Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Nerdpocalypse Podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hello there.
All right. Let's try this again. Take two. All right. This, thanks, internet provider.
Comcast. Fuck you, Comcast. Xfinity. Whatever.
Xfinity. Let's just call them by their proper name when they needed to rebrand after being a shit company for decades.
What a stupid name. What a stupid name. What does it even mean? Variable infinity? What? What does it mean?
All right. Now, look, you talking shit on names. Better have that name straight for your second kid coming up. We'll talk shit. Little Xfinity. Don't worry. I know how you blacks are with your names. Is name after a car you wish you had? Isn't that?
It's a name that is has something to do with the royal family and The Rock. So
okay. Wow. I don't even know what that means. I assume it's Adam, right?
I told it to Brad, and he was like, "Did you name your son Luke Hobbs?" I'm like, "No, I didn't name him Luke Hobbs."
No, that's ridiculous. His name is Dominic Toretto. Everyone knows that. All right. Wow. Okay. I'll have to really think about the royal family and the royal. I'll have to see if I can guess it because I don't know what it is. And, just before we get into it, you're gone for the month of July, right?
Yeah.
You're taking paternity leave from the show.
Yep.
We're giving you a vacation so that you can spend time.
Yeah, you're giving me 4 weeks of no pay.
Look, that's a vacation. You're welcome. It's in your contract.
Right.
4 weeks of no volunteer work. The fuck. So you're gone the month of July. We'll have some guests coming in during those 4 weeks. But let's jump right into it. We have plenty of stuff to talk about. This week's episode, the third episode of Miss Marvel, I thought was pretty good. I thought it was a good establishment of who the villains are of this series halfway through it, which I think is probably appropriate given how they're doing the storytelling. And then we get a little bit more background on what the origins of Kamala Khan's powers are. Sorta, kinda. I'm not so sure that it's going to be as cut and dry as people think it is. But what were your thoughts?
I enjoyed the episode. I'm very curious about the antagonists because, as we saw, Damage Control picked those people up. And what are you going to get away again?
Like surprise!
I'm just curious. Like, do we not focus on them, or do they come back later? I don't know. It looks like episode 4 will probably be, hey, come to this place, and I will tell you everything you need to know about that bracelet, which I'm actually looking forward to.
Karachi, I believe.
Yes. Look, I like this show. I like it a lot. But the thing that I like most about the show is something that I don't usually care for, and it's the teen drama. It's everything that's not involving superheroics. These characters are just interesting. And it's this is why Marvel has a tendency to succeed when they do this, right? When they make a well, I guess WB does it also, right? Like they make a certain show with superheroes in it, but I don't know why this succeeds and WB's doesn't. I mean, it has to be like some of the writing. It has to be like
it's the writing.
It has to be the writing, and it also I think it's wearing out your welcome. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, man. I like those first 3 seasons of The Flash. And The Flash on like season 8 now or some shit.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
and it's like this too much. It's too much, yo.
Well, and it became a Monster of the Week show, which is that doesn't work well when you want to see the characters do more than just that.
Yeah. And it's anyway, I'm not here to shit on those shows. I'm here to praise this one. This is really good, man. And I like my favorite bits of it are just like all the stuff that doesn't have anything to do with the superheroics. Like that wedding was a blast.
Yeah,
it was awesome. A blast, man. Like if nobody's been to an Indian wedding before, I've only been to like 2. And it's like that. Like it's so beautiful and it's just colors all over the place and people are just fucking having a good time, man. Like it was a blast, man. And that's something that I think that's the thing that I appreciate the most about this show is that it's unapologetically like their own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not afraid, right? Like if you don't like it, don't watch it, but it's not afraid to like, hey, we're Americans and this is just another facet of American life that some people may not be into or they may not know about. And I just find it super interesting, man. I just find it super interesting.
Yeah, I think that sort of owning its own corner of the universe, I think is really important, right? Much like Shang-Chi, like much like that really leaned into Chinese culture and like, especially even in the end with like all the mythology and stuff like that, that's what made that movie really work, right? It was, yeah, okay, it's like, you know, sort of standard operating procedure as far as comic book shows and movies go, right? It's got this kind of, you know, standard story that you come to expect, but they subvert like moments just because it's like, well, culturally this is what would happen, or culturally this is what would happen, which is super interesting. And I like that Marvel is doing that. I mean, they're taking a lot of risk with doing this character as authentic as they're doing her, right? Like, make no mistake, like the idea of talking about the partition and shit like that, you're running slightly dangerous ground. Like you really kind of are for a lot of people. So it's cool to see him do it.
And unfortunately, while critics seem to really like the show, it's not getting the streaming numbers that the other shows are getting.
Yeah.
And part of that is because the other shows are spinoffs of very well-established, you know, Marvel characters.
Right.
Part of it is, you know, people being shitty. I mean, and part of it is just like people just are like not, you know, just like not familiar, right? So,
right, and I think a lot of people, I've seen a lot of comic book, you know, mega nerds say, "Oh, I'm not watching this. This isn't for me," because it's not centered around adults in the MCU, right? It's centered around this kid, and it's clearly sort of a kid-focused drama. But at the same time, I would make the argument of like The Runaways, which like is one of those shows where I'm like, you could absolutely adapt this into the MCU. The Cloak and Dagger, you could absolutely adapt it to the MCU. Like, they're not that far off. Like, you could bring those characters in.
Sure, but that doesn't negate the argument of that hypothetical person, right? Like, those are still kids.
No. The reason why I'm saying, no, I'm not trying to even make that point. What I'm saying is those two shows worked the same reason this show works, which is they have those super heroics and stuff like that, yes, they have the teen drama stuff, but they have the super heroics. You just kind of have to be a little bit more patient because those characters exist in a world where they're all looking up to adults, right? So they have their own issues. They have their own perspectives. Like, you don't really need Thor's perspective much outside of his world because he's one of the top guys, right? But the whole point of this character is that here she is, she's us, right? It would be like us living in the MCU. We'd be like, holy shit, this is crazy. Like, let's go to Avengers Con and all this other shit. You would do the same things if you were her age. Now take that and then give you powers, right? Like, so your story still matters and your perspective still matters. and then these other things are going to come. But they have to establish who she is fundamentally in the universe. So I think it just takes time.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I'm saying that the hypothetical argument of this doesn't have adults, so I don't want to watch it I understand.
I get it. Oh, I get it.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's us, but like, it's not us. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not a bunch of 40-year-old dudes. And that's the issue. Some people don't want to see a story through a child's eyes. Some people want to see these things as a fantasy that they can fulfill, right? This is
very true.
For those people, this is POV porn, right? Like, they want to be the person they want to be Captain America.
I want to be the man in the suit, so to speak.
Right. They want to be America's ass, right?
Right.
And I get it. I think people are missing out on a really cool show if they don't. But I'm also not mad at it, right? Now, if you're like, I don't want to watch this because Muslims are in it, well then, like, that's where we part ways.
Right.
But,
Go fuck yourself.
Right. Right. But nah, man, I'm actually enjoying the show. I am invested. They're actually doing what I thought Spider-Man would be perfect for, right? Like, now obviously nobody has seen the Marvels, right? But I always imagined a world where Spider-Man would be the one who has these like stories that are told on the ground via a TV series, and then, oh shit, I'm in the big leagues now. I'm hanging out with all these people, right?
Yeah.
And but you would get more Spider-Man on like a day-to-day like basis.
It just would be mad expensive. Like, that's the thing. It would just be mad expensive. Well, that was the whole idea of the Andrew Garfield reboot, right? It was supposed to be more human side, Spider-Man or Peter Parker with the occasional, Spider-Man things. And then they were just like, yeah, nobody's trying to do that. People want to see Spider-Man in the suit doing shit. But I do think you could do something like that. It would actually be kind of cool for them to do that with Miles, right? Like, introduce Miles like in the movie, like do a reverse, right? Like, introduce him into the movie where he has this moment alongside Peter Parker, and like, you don't have to kill Peter Parker. That's not necessarily at all, but have him alongside on some adventure. And he gets like the last like 20 minutes, he gets to like fight alongside, like not perfectly, but like he could still like help out Spider-Man, right? At the end of an adventure or some shit like that. And then spin that off into his own show. Because a lot of who he isn't just the super heroics, right? It is this biracial kid growing up in New York and like kind of dealing with what he deals with. His uncle's a villain, this kind of stuff. Like, you could actually make for a pretty interesting perspective in that same way. With all the, with Miles. And then you could still have Peter Parker in the big movie universe and then have Miles cross back over, which I think would work.
Yeah. We're going to talk about Miles' representation a little bit later.
I don't know anything about that story. So I'm super interested. I hope you didn't click. I did not.
Okay, good. I'm very curious to get your like raw reaction.
You're about to. But yeah, look, I just as a side note, I would love to see Runaways and Cloak and Dagger make it into the MCU. The versions that were shows. I think those were cast really well. Probably the kids from Runaways are like 45 years old now, because kids age so damn fast. But like, that was a good cast. Like, it was pretty good. They just needed like more to do. Like that. That's all. They could have been kind of fun. And they nailed fucking team drama in that, like, really surprisingly quite well. The Boys. I forget what episode we're on, 4 or 5. 5. Shit is getting crazy, man. What I really appreciate? Spoilers for The Boys, by the way. The spoilers for all of these shows.
You know what I really appreciate in The Boys, particularly this season? They really don't give a fuck with the Trump parallels with Homelander. Like,
no, the director came out and said it. He said it. Or the showrunner. It was like, nah, that's like, what's happening.
Like, I respect it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, and you know, all these like extreme, like all these extremists on that side, they're like, "Ooh, the boys is woke now." Like you said, what, last week or 2 weeks ago?
It was last week. I told you.
The boys has always been this show. It's always been this.
You just paid attention to the violence.
Right. You just paid attention to you just don't like it when it's called Nazi, right? Like they just don't like the word Nazi, right? Like they're talking about you.
Yeah, they are. They quite literally are, yeah.
But yeah, it's I love what they're doing with Homelander and the Trump parallels, and you know, illustrating that, you know, what happens when one person is given like absolute power, or when they come to realize it, right? Like you can't, like Homelander is legit fucking scary. Like at earlier points,
he's a great
like
villain.
At earlier points, he was, at earlier seasons, he was scary, but like you kind of felt bad for him sometimes. You know what I mean? Like he was kind of cowardly, but like now it's just like, nah, yo, like he's like he is legit scary, and yeah, I love it, yo, I love it. It's really good.
I'm smarter than you. I'm stronger than you. I'm better than you. You're not the real heroes. I'm the real hero. Fuck off. Yo, Anthony Starr is awesome. He is awesome in this role. He is so good. And the fact that conservatives just figured out that Homelander is an analog for Trump is crazy to me. But these are the same people who thought that Stephen Colbert was being serious. Like they didn't realize that the Colbert report, they didn't know it was a joke. Yeah, they didn't know it was a joke. Yeah, they didn't know it was a joke. Yeah, there were reports on that. They were like, wait, what? Like they thought, oh, well, he's being comedic, but like, no, he really believes this. They were like, nah, yo, it's not. Nah, he don't believe none of this.
He's being a buffoon, but he means it.
Like he's being an over the top version of what he really believes. It's like, nah, yo, he don't believe any of this. They're making fun of you. Like that's just crazy to me. But yeah, they didn't realize that was, they didn't get the subtext. Like I don't even think you could qualify that as subtext. It was pretty much text. But they don't get the subtext of this show either. But like the idea of them taking stories, like ripped from the headlines kind of stories, like taking those stories and dealing with them inside this in-universe thing is very cool, right? Like dealing with the quite literally a guy who will stand on top of the tallest building and jerk off, yelling, "I can do whatever the fuck I want." Like, yeah, no, I think we know who that is. And I know people are going to say, well, Homelander was written way before Donald Trump was president. Yes, and they're taking liberties and changing him slightly so that he's more like Donald Trump is the point. But they don't get that. They don't understand that, like, even in this latest episode, where he's like, he becomes in charge of Vought for all intents and purposes. And they're like, okay, well, we have these, like, he's finally caught the brass ring, and they're like, all right, cool, we have these things that we need done on the corporate level, and he has no idea what he's doing, right? Like, he just lashes out at that woman. You think you're smarter than me? It was like, what? No, I'm just asking. We need to get this done, like, because he doesn't know how to actually do anything once he's actually put in charge, which is exactly Donald Trump. Don't mean to divide the room here, but like, yeah, this is spoiler alert. Not a fan. But yeah, I think this season's really great. I like that they're also doing like the Winter Soldier kind of thing with Soldier Boy. I think that's kind of a fun way of handling him. But yeah, I'm digging it. I think the season so far is like pretty flawless.
Yeah, man, no complaints. No complaints from me.
Yeah. No notes. All right. Speaking of no notes, do you have any for Obi-Wan Kenobi season finale or series finale? Maybe, I don't know.
So for a show that literally did not need to exist, like, while technically no shows need to exist, but like for a show that does nothing to advance the overall story of Star Wars, that is a story set in between two chapters,
Right.
It's unnecessary. But I gotta tell you, I really enjoyed it. This last episode, I think, was super fun, if a bit confusing in terms of Reva. I feel like Reva didn't need to be in this episode at all. I feel like she just could have died. And because why was she going after Luke? I can't remember, but just because like she overheard that there are two children, and like I don't understand why Reva going after Luke.
Right, like really who is she killing Luke for? Not for Vader.
Right. Like so the whole Reva thing really didn't, and I'm sure someone from California named after a Ninja Turtle will let me know why I'm wrong. But I just didn't know what
Let us know, Donatello. Let us know.
I just didn't know what her point was, and I felt like she was just there to kind of pad out the story, because like you could have had her die, and it would have been the end of her story. But
or given her a better ending. Like, cool, she saved Luke. Like, all right, you gonna go like fight in the resistance or some shit? Like, do something else?
Yeah, what you gonna do now? Yeah,
I was gonna lay the lightsaber down. No, but we could use that on our side though. Like, come on now. Like,
it would have been an incredibly poetic ending for her to just straight up die, because she because as a cautionary tale of what vengeance will get you.
Right.
But this is TV, right? Everyone wants happy endings. Even if you don't have her die, which, lightsabers aren't really scary if people can just get gutted by them and just kind of walk it off, right? Like,
wrap a sheet around it. No. Well, it cauterized the wound. No.
Okay, but like you still have a hole in your abdomen, Like,
no, but I covered it. I covered it though.
But even if you wanted her to have like a redemption arc of some sort, which, all right, why go find Luke and then try to kill him and then realize the error of your ways? Like, oh shit, I'm turning into him, right? Like, I get why it's there. I understand why it's there. I think it should have been done differently. Yeah, but that was the only thing that I really just did not like about this last episode. All the stuff with Obi-Wan and Vader. I loved it, man. The fight was great. Fucking, I was a little offended that Obi-Wan used a move that Dr. Doom uses in Marvel vs. Capcom.
Jump off a rock.
He's used molecular shield, right? Like he threw a fucking molecular shield at him, at the character that is inspired by Dr. Doom. I took personal offense to that, and I was rooting for Vader at that point. Then I realized, oh wait, nothing's gonna happen to these guys. But it was still a good confrontation anyway. It's the confrontation. I think they did this because it's the confrontation that you wanted to see back in the day.
Yeah.
When, except for like two old men were doing it. Like, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. And this is the way that this confrontation should have gone about. So yeah, I'm rambling, but I really enjoyed this last episode. I think it was done well, and I appreciated the little cameo at the end. Because Obi-Wan is kind of back in tune with the Force.
Yeah.
So I liked it.
Yeah, I figured that cameo was coming. Made a lot of sense. He looked good, so that's kind of cool. Like, yeah, all right. Like, he's still around. I liked the fight a lot. I thought the fight was good. I agree on the Reva stuff. I was kind of like, all right, this seems like wildly unnecessary conflict. Yeah, it turns out like I forget Owen's wife's name was like she was ready to fucking rock and roll, like get the guns, let's go. He was like, well, maybe we should leave. She was like, nah, fuck that, like, get the rifles. I was like, okay, wow, all right. So I thought that was cool. It's a bit weird that you have like Luke as, you know, like at the beginning of A New Hope is like, whoa, what's a lightsaber, man? Like, that's crazy. Like, yo, you were chased by a crazy woman with a lightsaber when you were a kid. Like, you weren't that young. Like, you're like 8 or 9. Yo, you would remember that.
It was 10, yo.
Like, yo, you would remember being chased by a psychopath trying to kill you with a light 'em up sword. So it's it kind of fucks with continuity a little bit. I'm not mad at it. But I did just as a personal sort of thing, I just found that to be funny. Like, oh, what kind of weapon is that? Like, yeah, dude, they tried to murder you like 15 years ago or like 10 years ago. They tried to kill you with one of those. I appreciated them allowing Obi-Wan to say the hello there line, which I thought was pretty funny. But yeah, all in all, I thought it was a good series. I thought it stuck the landing. I just think, like you said, it's an unnecessary series, right? Like it just doesn't need to exist. It doesn't push the story forward at all. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I like seeing Ewan McGregor back. Like, that was cool. I like that moment where he breaks Vader's helmet. And so you got that, and I thought that was really creative. James Earl Jones' voice modulated over top of Hayden Christensen's voice, which I thought was very, very fucking cool. To like, you got just a bit of Vader and just a bit of Anakin. And I like that idea of like, yeah, I killed Anakin. Like, nah, fuck that. Like, no, you didn't do this. I killed Anakin. Like, this is all that is left. You know, all that's left is me. Which works well for the line in the original movie where he's like, yes, Vader killed your father or whatever, right? Like,
yeah,
so,
when Obi-Wan lied.
Yeah, he
lied.
But now they helped Obi-Wan out a little bit. Like,
yeah,
they tried to show up.
I heard that shit. I was like, nah, he lied.
No,
because and then he tried to cover it up. It was like, well, I was telling the truth from a certain point of view. Nigga, that's called a lie, yo. Telling the truth from a certain point of view isn't the truth.
Well, I mean, it's an alternative fact, I believe, as liars would say. It's an alternative fact. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I don't know what's next. I guess Andor is next, which I'm interested to see. Or maybe Ahsoka is next. I don't know. I guess Andor, because I think that's actually done filming. So that's probably coming up next, which is cool. But again, that takes place sort of at a weird time too, right? So I guess it would be post episode 4, I guess. I don't know. Actually, I'm not sure where in the timeline that falls, or is that it wouldn't be pre episode 4 because that was Rogue One. So, yeah, I guess maybe it's post episode 4. So we'll see. We'll see how that works out. But yeah, all in all, I enjoyed it.
Do you have anything else to say? Because I'm getting ready to move on.
No, go for it.
Have you used Comixology in a while? When was the last time you used it?
Probably a couple months ago.
Was it after the Amazon update when Amazon tried to like they redid everything and they had Kindle integration and all this and they made it worse, like they made it incredibly bad?
No, I would have been pissed.
Okay, well, don't open it until they fix it. Look, according to this article from Engadget, nearly 4 months after integrating Comixology into its other services, Amazon acknowledged that the platform has been left worse off. Quote, "We understand the current experience needs improvement, and we want you to know we're working hard to get those improvements out the door as quickly as possible." Comixology tweeted this. in like 11 tweets, which goes to show you that like Twitter is not a good form of communication for disseminating information.
No.
It just isn't. It's been a while since our last update. We wanted to share some updates and improvements on what our team has been working on ever since we fucked up. In the coming weeks, we're launching a beta version of the web reading experience that will include double page spread, new zoom in and out functionality, and vertical scroll while reading. It won't support guided view yet, but we're working on that next.
Well, let me tell you something. If you don't read comic books on Comixology with guided view, you're a psychopath. You're changing the size it take you 4 times as long to read the book. No, next, zoom into that panel. Next, zoom into that panel. Oh, it's a big splash page. Zoom out, motherfucker. And then when I hit zoom again, zoom back in. That is the absolute best way to read comic books. I think it's actually better than reading them like for real. Because,
yeah.
Right, because you get shit spoiled for you. Right? Like you'll get like, oh, this next panel's coming up. It fucking tells you what's happening. That you don't see anything else. It's awesome to read that way. Why would you not have? Fuck off. Fuck off.
We're also excited to announce that you will soon be able to filter your library in the Kindle app to make it easier to hide your comics or alternatively show your comics. Because once they had Kindle integration, anything that you had on Kindle and anything that you had on Comixology would just bam, mashed together, right?
I don't have that. We're also aware of on Kindle, so that's fine.
Also, we're aware of issues where customers are facing when searching for comics and getting non-comic graphic novels or manga as a result.
Oh, that would piss me off, dude. That would piss me off. Oh, here, would you like to buy Sandman the book by some other asshole? No, I'm in your app. I'm in the comic app. Show me comics.
For new releases, we fixed an issue where the content from 90 publishers were not visible in the all new releases widget at the bottom of your page.
Yeah, that's wild. 90, not 9, 90. 90 publishers, dude. 90 publishers. That's not 90 books. That's 90 publishers. Sorry, yo. We forgot to put all of like Image on there. My bad. You can't see none of it. What the fuck?
So yeah, the Comixology app was really, really bad. It was in like an incredibly bad shape. It was one of those things where it was like studio notes, right? Let's change things for the sake of changing them because we have to justify our jobs.
Yeah.
And it was just it was a horrible experience.
Well, let me say this about Comixology. Comixology was a perfect app before Amazon bought it.
It was.
It was a perfect app. Yo, I spent 1 year, I swear to God, this is pre-Amazon buying them. I spent $300 on comic books because you would just read something and it was like, do you want the next issue? I just buy that shit and just like, don't worry about it. Like, boom, came right up. Then you couldn't do that anymore because they changed, because on the iPad, Apple was charging, right? Like you couldn't buy within the app without like Apple getting a 30% cut. So they wouldn't allow that. So then you had to go out of the Comixology, go to the Comixology website, buy the books you want, and then they would be downloaded. I'm like, yo, fuck this. This is terrible. Yeah. This doesn't work. So I bought an Amazon Fire tablet. One smarter idea. They're way cheaper. And all I did was I only use it to read. So that made it better. But then now all of this shit. Like they separated like where you download versus like just searching for things. Like they're like two different, basically like kind of like two different apps inside one app. I'm like, why can't I just search and then just hit read? I don't need a list. Like you should have a page that I could go to and like go and like look through my library, but like just open it right there. Don't dump me into a smart list and all that. I don't need all that shit. Just list this shit out. It's in alphabetical order. It's a comic book. I just bought it. I know what it's called. Like, I don't need all that extra bullshit. Like, they overcomplicated a very simple, very, very good app. Like, the best thing that Comixology could do is leave Amazon, to be honest. Like, just leave Amazon. Fuck them. Like, it's ridiculous. They have thoroughly fucked it up. The only benefit that Amazon has is that you can just charge your Comixology purchases through your Amazon account. That's the only benefit. Like, so you don't have two separate things you're setting up. That's the only benefit. Like,
yeah,
that's it. Everything else, you fucked it up. You fucked it up.
One comment. I mean, it sounds like you wrote this comment. Before the merger, I used to spend anywhere from $30 to $100 a month on digital comics through Comixology. Since the merger went through, I haven't spent a single cent, and I'm saving more money as a result. Yeah,
Thanks.
man. Like,
thanks.
Changing it just to change things.
It made no sense. Look, and the fucked up thing is, they didn't actually have to change Comixology. Amazon just didn't want to pay the 30% to Apple. That's the only reason they changed it. They were just like, nah, we want all that money. And look, I get it. I think 30% is bullshit that Apple charges that. But like,
yeah, it's outrageous.
It's out fucking outrageous. It should be, okay, 5%. 5%. You can even say 10. You can even say 10. 30%? 30?
Can you imagine a manager getting 30%? Like,
right, that doesn't make no sense.
They get 25, yo. Like, what the fuck?
Right.
Come on, man.
And not only that, couple that with the fact that if you're not using their platform, you don't pay anything. So, like, it's not like they charge 30% and so does Google, right? Android's like, well, we also need 30%. Like, they didn't charge anything. They're like, just do, I mean, that's part of the reason why Google's store is shit, right? Because they're just like, just put anything on there. They don't give a fuck, right? But Apple is more discerning. But yo, discerning at 30%, come on, man. Like, that shit doesn't make any sense. Like, it's bullshit. So, yeah, they just didn't want to pay the money. And on one side, I get it. On the other, you fucked that product up. You super fucked it up, dude. Like, it made no sense. So, good. I'm glad to hear they're trying to fix it. What's the name finally got fixed years ago? The Marvel app. That was a piece of shit for a while, too. But they finally fixed that, so.
All right. So Marvel has
this
been doing
doesn't
this
make
thing.
any sense. This doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense.
Marvel has been doing this thing with Miles Morales and what if stories. What if Miles Morales was Captain America? What if Miles Morales was Wolverine? Well, now we have what if Miles Morales was Thor? And look, I haven't read any of these, so I can't speak to the content. But the what if Miles Morales is Thor is receiving backlash based on the way that Miles looks and some of the language that he's using. So Miles,
why does he have blonde hair?
When he gets the power of Thor, let's just talk about the redesign, right? Miles gets
no.
Miles gets frosted tips. That's fine, right?
No.
Thor's blonde. Miles get frosted tips. I've seen black people with frosted tips, right?
Nah.
He's got his outfit is he keeps the Jordans, right? But he's got like Thor's top and Thor's like leggings. But he's got like a skort.
He's like crazy jacked.
He's huge. Mjolnir has graffiti on it, and
yo, come on, yo. Why?
As does the Rainbow Bridge, which is not in this image, but it's like the George Washington Bridge right there, or the Brooklyn Bridge, or whatever those bridges are. If you go to another image that has the actual panel, like if you Google what if Miles Morales became Thor and just look at some of the images, you'll see the Rainbow Bridge has like a bunch of graffiti on it.
No.
He says things like there's an image of Miles doing the thing that Thor does when he holds his hand out and he grabs the hammer and Miles says, guess what Miles says? when he calls forth Mjolnir.
I just saw it. I don't.
Hammer time.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Hammer time. Hammer time.
Who wrote this, yo? Who wrote it? Who wrote this? Did a white person write this? It feels like a white person wrote this.
Mjolnir, by Odin's fade, I command you, shield this lost
Nigga,
son
shut
of
up,
Freya.
yo. That's not a thing he says. 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 I don't believe you. He doesn't say that, yo. He doesn't say that. He does not say that.
By Odin's fade. By Odin's
Nah, yo, he
fade.
doesn't say it, yo. Yo, come on. By Odin's fade? Really? Wow. Okay. Fuck right off.
Oh shit.
Mexican Jewish author. Yeah, no, dude, I could tell you this is not a black person who wrote this. A black person would not have done this. This is ridiculous.
Oh man.
No, this is offensive. This is offensive.
Look, I
mean, I appreciate the lightning. I'm not gonna lie. I appreciate the lightning bolt in the hair, though. Like, all right. Like,
wait, look,
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
Look, I see what they're trying to do here. I see what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I see it too.
But I feel like, and I'm not mad that this person who is writing this is Mexican, Jewish, or whatever, right? I think anybody should be able to write any story within reason, right?
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm just not surprised
because
they're not black. I'm just not surprised.
And all I'm saying is, hey, Mexican Jewish writer, I'm sorry, I don't know what your name is. Maybe run this by one of your black friends. Maybe run it by one of your black friends. Like, I'm not overly offended. Like the graffiti on the fucking hammer, like that really annoys me.
Yeah.
You know, Miles is into music, yo. Like he's not.
Oh,
he's
well,
not
no,
necessarily
I
coming
know
out and
that.
all over the place.
No, I know that Miles is into music because in one panel, as he's fighting a frost giant, he says, as he's spinning Mjolnir, he says, quote, "Time to spin these hits." And then in another panel, he says, after hitting the frost giant and knocking him seemingly unconscious, he says, "Now that was a banger." Yes, that's what he said. And then at some point, someone gets punched in the face, I guess, or hit with the hammer. And he says, "Right up to your face and diss you." All right. Wow, ain't no party like an Asgard party. Please stop. Because an Asgard party don't quit. Light it. All right. All right. Did this person only meet black people in 1985? Yo, what even is this? Yo, what even is this? No, I don't. Look, no. Anybody complaining about this is 100% within the bounds of reason. This is fucking unacceptable. No, thanks. I hate it. No. Nope. I hate it. This is fucking offensive.
Look, and I've seen people debate, and I've seen people, make the argument that like, well, only black people should be writing Miles. Well, I don't necessarily think that is true. I don't agree with that because by that logic, then no black people can write anything other than black people.
Right.
So that's a dumb, like that's dumb logic.
Yep.
But this is also kind of silly to me.
Yeah.
I'm not like mad at it, right? Like I'm not like, oh, I gotta boycott Marvel. Like I'm not mad at it, right? But
it's just dumb.
It's just like incredibly out of touch. Like it's just hilarious to me. It's just hilarious.
Like it literally reads like they've never talked to a black person since 1985. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? This is nope, unacceptable to me. Yeah, that's wild. What is more offensive? This or the next story?
The next story. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely is the next story. Absolutely is the next story.
This is my favorite story of the week. No, that's my favorite
Fuck
story of the
this,
week.
dude. So
This is not
apparently-
accurate?
Apparently, Kraven the Hunter is a movie that's coming out produced by Sony. And Aaron Taylor Johnson, who is playing Kraven, confirms that his I want to get the quote. I don't know if there's a quote here. No, it is.
Yeah.
And speaking with Variety, Aaron Taylor Johnson says that he describes Kraven as, quote, one of Marvel's most iconic, notorious anti-heroes.
Yo, he's not an anti-hero, yo.
He's not an anti-hero.
He's a
He's
villain.
very much a villain. And
Nobody wants to be a
number one
villain. Nobody wants to be a villain.
Spider-Man's number one. I don't know why villains have all the fun. I don't know. I don't know why. Villains have all the fun, and the only thing that makes a hero worth a damn is having a strong villain. Like that's it, yo. That's it. Like it is an integral part of the hero-villain relationship.
Well, let me ask you this. I don't know. I know a good amount about Kraven. I don't know everything about Kraven's background and everything. At any point, was he a slave? Will he have an opportunity to? The first thing out of his mouth in this trailer, I was a slave.
It was a slave. Like, come on. All right.
I was a slave to animals, which now I love, and I'm a huge PETA fan.
One of Marvel's most iconic, notorious, anti-heroes. No. Spider-Man's number one rival. No. And I like Kraven. He's not Spider-Man's number one rival, yo. He's not even in the top 3. He's probably top 5.
Who's his number one? Is it Carnage or?
Shut up, yo. He went on to say he found it refreshing that the character was, quote, not an alien or a wizard, just a hunter with a human with conviction, an animal lover, and a protector of the natural world. He's a very cool character. Yo, how can you literally say in the same sentence, he says in sentence 1, he says he's a hunter with human conviction, and then in sentence 2, he says he's an animal lover. How can you be a hunter and an animal lover at the same time? PETA doesn't hunt animals, yo. What?
He loves to hunt animals. He loves them so much that he'd like to bring them inside of his house and put them on a wall.
He loves them so much he likes to skin them and wear them as flamboyant vests.
Yes.
You know, what the like at this point, like Marvel has to be like screaming at Sony, much like a parent has to like not scream at a child, like scream through their teeth. Like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing, Sony? You're gonna fucking embarrass me, man. Like, this is ridiculous, yo. I can't. God damn it. I'm not watching this show. I'm not watching.
No, you said you were going to watch this show. You said you were going to watch this.
I'm a liar. I can't.
I can't believe you're turning your back on the people.
I'm a nigger. I can't do it.
I Googled Kraven cosplay, and honestly, this first guy who came up, his is pretty good. It's actually not bad. I can't believe that they're going with he's an animal lover. He's not. He has a lion's head for a jacket.
I just don't understand. Like, he literally hunts. He hunts for sport. And he's hunting Spider-Man because quite literally he's hunted every other fucking animal and bested them. And Spider-Man is a creature that he hasn't been able to like. I don't get it, yo. Like I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't do this, man. I can't do it. This is not. And Kraven's a cool character too, man. He really is. I don't like this. Kraven the Hunter will also feature Russell Crowe in an undisclosed role. Fred Heckinger as the Chameleon, his brother. Ariana DeBose as Calypso. Christopher Abbott as the Foreigner. And and a couple other unnamed villains. Yo, all right, man. All right. Whatever, yo.
No, this is going to be
Whatever.
good.
Like, Venom is one thing, right? Venom is bulletproof, right? Like, everybody loves Venom, right? Like, he's bulletproof. You can literally almost do whatever you want with Venom, because Venom is bulletproof. He's that big of a character. Morbius, like, nobody knows who Morbius is. Nobody knows who Morbius is, right? Like, you listening know who Morbius is. And you probably only know who Morbius is because of that 90s Spider-Man show where they couldn't say blood, so he pines for plasma all the time.
Yep, that's the only reason why I know who he is. That's the only reason.
And he had his blood sucking like hands, like fucking Vampire Hunter D or some shit. And but Kraven is a big enough name, at least in the comic world. Like, at least with, well, I don't know if the average person knows who Kraven the Hunter is.
No.
But Kraven is a big enough Spider-Man villain that, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
They're gonna fuck this up. Like, okay, so let me get this straight. Kraven, who is an animal lover, with who is he hunting in this?
I don't know what he's doing.
Who's he hunting?
What he's doing?
Spoiler alert. Would it have made sense to have him hunting Venom? You know what I mean?
It would have made all the sense in the world. Yeah.
Like hunting Venom or hunting Venom and Morbius, right? Like these sort of animal-based ish, characters. Like that would have made sense. Like Venom feels like the right stand-in for that. Like Venom 3 should have probably just been Kraven as the villain. Like, that would have made sense. Instead, they're likely to go with another symbiote. So that's going to be interesting and different for the third time in a row. Just a bunch of CGI mess. But so they're doing this. They're doing Madam Web. They're doing El Muerta. At this point...
yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, please don't. So at this point, they're just doing movies to keep the rights because they don't have any other plans. Like, they don't seem to have any plans with any of the other spiders. Like, there was talk of a Silk show, I guess, at some point on Amazon, which is a weird way to go. I don't know if that's actually still happening. I'd rather it didn't. But why not use Silk or someone like that as a spider in your universe? Give these characters something to do. Like, it's just fucking odd. It's just really fucking odd.
I will never understand. You've brought this point up before, and I'll never understand why they don't do it. Like, use an actual hero. Like, I don't know what the relationship is with, like, Spider-Man, and, like, I don't know what they can do. But, like, do a Spider-Man 2099 and let that be your Spider-Man universe.
Yeah, I would I'd hate to see them fuck it up because they're gonna fuck it up, but at least it would be completely disconnected. At least it'd be completely disconnected. You could do whatever you want.
You could do literally whatever you want, and you have the option of bringing Miguel into the MCU if you wanted to. Through, shenanigans, because that's all any Spider-Man. That's half of Spider-Man stories anyway. It's just interdimensional shenanigans.
Right. That makes no sense. But
so, like
pick a hero for them to fight. Pick them a hero.
It's right there, and and he's cool looking. He's different, right?
He's very different looking.
He's very different looking. You're fighting an evil corporation and shit. Like, come on, man. Like.
Yeah, maybe
he's
you could have
guy. Like, I know that sounds like sexist, but like that's part of the reason why like Ghost Spider is not getting a movie is because she's a girl, she's a woman, and
which is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, but like that's what that's what people think. You know what I mean? So like I don't know. I don't get it.
I don't understand. Like they Marvel must already have like laid out like, hey, we want these characters, we're going to use these characters. That could be the only reason they're not using them. Right? They were just like, this is our roadmap. These are the characters we want to use. These are characters you guys are full on to do. Because at the end of the day, when the Venom trilogy is over, what do they have after that? Right? They completely squandered it.
Are they still doing Silver and Black or whatever?
No, Silver Sable is supposed to show up in Madam Web, from my understanding. So maybe they will spin it off. I don't know. But like, what are you doing? Who is Madam Web? What is Madam Web's purpose in this universe then? Right? Her whole purpose in the comic books is eventually we work to the point where she actually interacts with Spider-Man. What is she doing in this? Like, I don't know. Is she going to be just sitting down the whole time? Or is she just like a badass, blind, like, kick-ass character? I don't know. The woman from 50 Shades of Grey, she's an action hero now? All right, I'd like to see it. It doesn't make a lot of sense. It feels like they're just No, nobody does. But look, if you want this shit to stop seeing these movies. Stop seeing Venom. Stop seeing Carnage. Stop seeing Morbius. Don't worry, I don't really have to talk to a lot of people about that because a lot of people didn't. Stop seeing these movies. Don't see this either. Look, you want to see it. I get it. 45 days. Watch it on streaming. Don't go to the theater, dude. If you stop seeing these movies, they will eventually get the fucking point and they will just give this shit to Marvel and be like, you just make this shit and we'll take the money. But every time they go see another Venom movie and it makes $800 million, they go, all right, cool, we got it. That's it. It's a piece of advice, man. Stop seeing these movies. You can definitely wait 45 days to see a shitty Kraven movie. I guarantee you can. Yeah, if you waited 45 days so you could see Multiverse of Madness, which is out on Disney Plus right now, you can definitely wait for a movie you didn't really want to see. So, like, come on, man, knock that shit off, please, for the love of God. Yeah, it looks good, man. I can't wait to see it.
Shut up.
I'm super interested in seeing what the trailer is because I want to know who the villain is. Who is he hunting? Other hunters? Like, hey man, don't take that rhino. I was gonna use that. Hey, don't grab that lion. I was gonna use that to make a jacket in the sequel.
Watch this be set in like some urban setting and it be just like a paranoia thriller, right? Like people are coming after him, but then he has to turn the tables and he has to hunt the people who are hunting him and all this bullshit.
You know what? You're 100% right. That's exactly the storyline, right? Like, oh, he's just a lover of animals. He's just Ace Ventura, pet detective, and they're gonna come after him. That's it. They're going to come after him, and then he has to truly, that's when he has to truly become Kraven the Hunter. And you know what the greatest hunt is? Man. That's right. Hunting man. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, God.
I can't wait to see the trailer for that. Should be good. When does that movie even come out? When does this even come out? No, I care, because I want to buy you a ticket.
January.
Nigga.
January.
They know it's a piece of shit. They know it's a piece of shit. They know. January 13th,
2023.
Wow. They really already know it's bad. For folks who don't know, inside baseball, January and February are dump months, right? Like they just from January 1 into maybe early February is generally like just get rid of it, just get it out, get rid of it. That's changed a long time ago, since like Deadpool came out. Like, cause that had like a January release and it fucking did gangbusters. But that's few and far between. That's still a dump month.
That had a February release because I remember it came out Valentine's Day because that was part of the marketing.
Oh, right.
But and Black Panther came out in February, right?
Too.
But
that's different because that's very strategic for Black History Month.
Right. January 13th. Filming began in late March in London, and shooting occurred in Iceland and is expected to occur in Glasgow. I don't know, man. I've been to London. Ain't a lot of jungles in London.
Nah, there's jungles there.
Nah.
You ain't go to real London. You went to tourist London. You ain't seen the jungle. Everybody knows the jungles of London incredibly dangerous. Iceland, yeah, again another place Kraven the Hunter would be with no sleeves. Yeah, makes total sense.
Yeah. The Nordic Islands. Okay, dude. All right.
Can't wait. It's gonna be awesome.
He's gonna look so bad.
You think he's wearing the jacket? You think he's wearing the jacket?
No, he's not gonna wear that lion jacket. That big fucking mane that makes him look fucking like a lion. Nah, he ain't gonna wear that. You know what kind of jacket he's gonna wear? He's gonna wear a pleather jacket because he's an animal lover.
Well, he doesn't want to hurt animals. I mean, he'll shoot them in the face, but he doesn't want to hurt them. No, I think he will don the jacket, but I think if he does don the jacket, it will be at the very end where he's like, I truly am Kraven the Hunter. As he puts it on, fade to black. He's not running around that thing more than 5 seconds.
I think that this Kraven the Hunter, as he's walking around London hunting people, I think he's going to be walking around in a London shopping mall hunting for a new jacket. He's going to step into a Spencer's and he's going to be like, "Oh, this doesn't work." He's going to look at it and he's going to be like, "I don't know about this," and he's going to go to a Hot Topic and he's going to see leopard print pants or whatever. And it's just like, "Nah, I don't think this is going to work."
I think you sound like a hater, man.
I am a hater. Yeah, I'm a very big fucking hater, yo. I hate this. I hate this idea. I hate this. I hate you. I hate everybody involved in it. The one thing I don't hate, my balls. And I take very good care of my balls because I trim them with Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com and enter the code THOSENERDS for 20% off and free worldwide shipping. Get the Performance Package 4.0. It's a game changer. Inside the package, you'll find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver, ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, performance boxer briefs, and travel bag to hold all your goodies. Let me tell you something. I went for a 10-mile bike ride today. I went home, took a shower, threw some of that ball deodorant on. Smelled real good. Got my in-laws here. I'm fucking walking around strutting with my balls and shit. And they're like, "Wow, what's that smell?" I said, "It's my balls." And then I got a weird look from my in-laws.
As you should.
I said, I'm just gonna go ahead and sit in my office and get ready to do this show. But if you want to get weird looks from your in-laws, go to manscaped.com. Type in the code THOSENERDS and get yourself 20% off and free worldwide shipping.
Can't beat that ad. You want to make your in-laws look at you weird? All right, next up. Planet of the Apes 4 is moving forward towards production. Look, I am a huge fan of these Planet of the Apes movies. Specifically, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War for the Planet of the Apes. I thought Rise of the Planet of the Apes was fine. I wasn't blown away by it, but I thought it was fine.
Which is which? Because
Rise is the first one, Dawn is the second, and War is the third. Okay,
so Rise and Dawn, the titles are flipped. Because
it should have been Dawn first. Yeah, it makes no sense to call it Rise. And then yes, Rise should have been the second movie. They kind of fucked that. But yeah, look, I think those movies are really good. Wes Ball, who did the Maze Runner series, he's picking up and starting at Planet of the Apes 4. So yeah, okay, that's fine. I think that trilogy, all in all, is pretty great. Especially those last two movies. Jesus, they were excellent. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what they do. Apparently, Andy Serkis is not going to be involved, which feels like a mistake, in my opinion. But I guess they're going with somebody else, which is, obviously Caesar died at the end of War for the Planet of the Apes. But like this article goes on to say, like, there's precedent of the actor who played Caesar playing a different character, playing his son, or in the original Planet of the Apes, playing Caesar's father and then playing Caesar. The same actor played both of them. So, like, you could have Andy Serkis play this, his son, Caesar's son. I don't know why they wouldn't do that, considering he's the best at this. But okay, we'll see. I mean, maybe he comes in and plays a different role. But he says the Westball does say we have a take. We have a way of staying in the universe that was created before us, but we also are opening ourselves up in being able to do some real cool new stuff. I'll say this, for fans of the original three, don't worry, you're in good hands. The original writers and producers that came up with Rise and Dawn, Rick Jaffa and Amanda Silver, they're also on board for this. Josh Friedman is writing this thing. A lot of the same crew is kind of involved. We will feel like we're part of the original trilogy, but at the same time, we're able to do some really cool new stuff. It will be really exciting to see on the biggest screen possible. So it said that Planet of the Apes 4 will go into production sometime this year and be released late 2023 or 2024. I'd say probably 2024. So there you go. If you want more talking monkeys, coming your way. I thought this was kind of a cool story Variety had. They had an interview with Antonio Banderas, and he was saying that when he was nominated for on Oscar night for Pain and Glory in 2020, Tarantino came up to him and was like, yo, I want to make that Zorro Django movie. Like, I want to do this crossover movie with you and Jamie Foxx. And only because of the pandemic, it got kind of lost in the shuffle and they ended up not doing it. Apparently, Banderas was like, are you serious? Like, yeah, I would do anything you wanted to work on. Like, yes, let's fucking do that. Which is a bummer because that had the potential to be a really fucking cool movie. I mean, I guess they could still make it, but basically because of the pandemic, it kind of just got slid aside. So, yeah, if you had heard those rumors about the Django Zorro crossover, they were more than just rumors. Like, they were really working on it. So, did you ever read that comic?
I did not read it. I wouldn't mind seeing a Django Zorro crossover. I got to imagine that Antonio Banderas is a bit old for it now, though.
No, but that's the story. Like, Zorro isn't young. Like, he's supposed to be older. But it's kind of like one last ride kind of shit. Like, but you got like a younger Django, but they team up. It's like a badass Mexican dude and a badass black dude, like, killing racist white people. Like, I'm sorry. How much money is the ticket? I'll take 7. Like, are you kidding? Like, Banderas even says, he was like, I feel like that would have been a $500 million movie. Like, yeah, dude. Like, people would have saw the shit out of that movie. Are you kidding me? So it remains to be seen. Maybe he'll go back to it or what. But Tarantino still hasn't announced what his 10th film is, which he says is going to be his last one. He's going to retire after that. You believe him?
We'll see.
I don't believe it. No, I don't believe it.
Everybody like that says, like, oh, this will be my last movie. But I think that guy just really likes movies too much.
He does.
And, any clips you've seen of Quentin Tarantino do interviews and stuff, like, he obviously has a passion for it. And, because it feels like that's all he talks about. There's no way he's just stopping at this. Like, something's going to happen, and then he's going to be like, well, this good. Also, it's perfect marketing for your 11th movie, right? To say that this is going to be my last movie. And then,
coming out of retirement
because there's a story that I just have to tell.
That's right. I still, it's funny. I'm a huge Tarantino fan. I still have not found the time to watch Once Upon Hollywood. Yeah, everyone says it's just okay. Like, it's not great.
Yeah, that's what I heard, and that's why I'm not pressed.
Yeah, Hateful Eight, I just thought was great. Like, I loved it. I've seen that movie, I don't know, no less than 3 or 4 times, and it's 3 hours. But God, that movie is it's just Tarantino, having these people just do some of the best dialogue reading. Like they're just everybody is just on point. It's just so fucking good. So yeah, look, if he wants to go back and do Django Zorro as his 10th film, dude, that would be pretty awesome. I guarantee you Jamie Foxx would be on board for that shit. Like you don't have to worry. I think he can push his Spawn movie back a couple of months to do.
Is that still happening?
I don't know. I bet Jamie Foxx has that same question. I honestly don't know. No fucking idea. Here's a story that broke quite literally 5 minutes after we started recording last week, so we missed it. Game of Thrones, Jon Snow sequel series is in development at HBO. This is kind of cool. Wow.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's a good way to maybe give that guy a little bit of redemption. This is a shit article. But like give that guy a little bit more to do after the ending where he was just like, I don't want it. I don't like, all right, like, come on, man. There's like, you were a badass for like 3 or 4 seasons before that. Now you're just like, I don't want it. So yeah, okay. Like if they've got a good story to tell, that's fine. But all right, like I think I saw an article that says it's like there's like 8 or 10 different spin-offs of Game of Thrones in the works on some level, like they're considering, which is crazy.
So there's a link below the one sentence article.
Right. That's what I'm trying to find. A different link. What the fuck?
As a new Game of Thrones show in the works, the sequel series is centered around Kit Harington's Jon Snow, focusing on what happened to the character after the events of Game of Thrones season 8. According to the Hollywood Reporter, HBO has entered into early development on its first sequel to the blockbuster fantasy drama. In the final season, Jon Snow discovered his name was Aegon Targaryen, that he was possibly an heir to the Iron Throne, yet he was exiled from Westeros and journeyed north of the Wall with the Wildlings in the finale. As the show is set after the events of Game of Thrones, all surviving characters could ostensibly make a cameo in the new series. Look, man, I understand Jon Snow was like the hero or whatever. Jon Snow was a charisma vacuum, man. There were so many other interesting characters in that show. Even when they were written like to be the opposite of what they were, like for 5 straight seasons, they were still interesting. And Jon Snow is not.
I thought he was interesting in the like. Well, I can see your point.
All right, come on, yeah.
Right. I think maybe you know what I'm thinking though. Like maybe it's the things that were happening around him seemed very grand. I mean, they were right.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking of like the Battle of the right, but like the Battle of the Bastards is quite possibly one of the fucking greatest episodes of a regular ass TV show that's ever existed. It was awesome.
Sure.
But when I think about it, I do have to tend to agree with you because the reason why it's so good, I mean, it's an action episode, but the reason why it's so good is because you hate Ramsay Bolton so much. And like, it's to see him get his comeuppance. And like, yeah, all right, that's fair.
And I don't know if it was designed like that so that we can kind of imprint ourselves on Jon, so we could be the POV character, right? Of Jon Snow, right? So that it's easier for us to kind of sympathize with him, but
to sympathize what it's like to like sexually plank on top of your cousin. Yeah, okay. I'm good. I'm good.
It's like Jon Snow is the least fucking interesting character in that entire series for me.
What's the
character?
Well, I was gonna say the fucking third Raven, the wheelchair kid. He's pretty uninteresting to me until the end.
He really is uninteresting.
I guess I'll be king. Fuck you.
Even he had powers and shit. You know what I mean? Like,
a 3-eyed Raven.
Like I I'm not terribly, and the wildlife, I don't really care about the. I'm not for this. That Targaryen spinoff, I'm gonna watch that.
Oh fuck yeah,
Right?
that's coming soon too.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
I think so. I'm gonna watch the shit out of that.
Look. I said when that first trailer came out, people were like, "No, fuck Game of Thrones." Okay, all right, okay, yeah. When that music hits, y'all niggas gonna be right there on Sunday night. Shut the fuck up. You gonna be right there, just like the rest of y'all. Just like the rest of us.
And the two dudes who were doing the regular Game of Thrones, they don't have anything to do with this, right?
No, they're not.
Well, that's all right. Well, then that's the excuse. That's the excuse they'll use. Like, oh well, I'll watch it because like W.E.B. Du Bois or whatever the fuck his name is, and fucking J.D. Dillinger or whoever, right? Whoever those two guys are.
Niggas hated them. Hated them.
I think it's Benioff and Weiss. Well, Benioff and Weiss don't have anything to do with it, so yeah, now I'll watch it.
August 21st is House of the Dragon. Yeah, I'm gonna watch. I'm super excited. Look, the only thing I'm not excited about, I don't think Matt Smith is a very good actor. And when Matt Smith is in things, they're generally not good. Just saying. Matt Smith just happened to be the villain in Morbius. Just saying. He's also in that terrible Terminator movie. Like, he's got like bad luck or something. I don't know. I've never found that guy to be interesting at all. And he's a major character. So I can only hope he dies in episode 9 of the first season. Final story. Kevin Feige teases MCU Phase 5 announcement coming soon. Says, quote, as we're nearing the end of Phase 4, I think people will start to see where this next saga is going. And so he basically was like, look, I think there have been many clues already that are at least apparent to me. Yeah, dude, of course. Of where this saga is going, but we'll be a little bit more direct about this in the coming months to set a plan so audience who want to see the bigger picture can see a tiny, tiny bit more of the roadmap. Yeah, that makes sense. Obviously, you've got a couple more movies that are in Phase 4. You've got Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. You've got Thor, Love and Thunder. You've got Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. You've got Fantastic Four and the Marvels. I think that's all of the and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And apparently maybe Thunderbolts is set in this phase, but I doubt it. That feels a bit rushed. So yeah, look, my big thing with this phase, and this is the first phase that's introduced television and everything, I think people's biggest issue, and I see a lot of like, oh, is the MCU over, blah, 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 blah. I think it's because this phase is a building phase. And we're used to like Phase 2 and 3, and it's just like all action, big fucking crossovers and all this major shit. Like, I think this is all a building phase. And I think Phase 5 is going to be the like, this is where, like you said, this is where the saga is going. So this start to sort of flush out why all of these new characters, what they're all going to actually be doing.
Oh, you mean like how the Infinity Saga started?
Yes, I know. Like it's weird how people just forget. Like you didn't know what the saga was until the end of Avengers.
There were no Infinity Stones mentioned in Iron Man 1 or Iron Man 2. Or The Incredible Hulk, or Thor, or Iron Man 3, or Captain America, or The Avengers, or what came after?
In Captain America, it was a Tesseract, but you didn't know.
Okay,
but you didn't know. But you didn't know it was an
right.
Infinity Stone. You didn't know it was an Infinity Stone.
Exactly. And look, they didn't know it was an Infinity Stone either, guys.
No,
like they didn't. So, but like. That's the like the genius thing that they fool people into thinking like it was everything was always planned. Like no, sometimes like happy accidents happen and then they kind of redo things. But yeah, man, we had like 5 or 6 movies that we didn't know what was going on. We just like, oh, this is just a good time. Hell, the first few movies were only meant to have an Avengers movie.
Yep.
And there was no saga. So yeah, I get it, and I understand people's like impatience, right? Like they want to see everybody interacting with everybody, but like I don't know. You can't like you gotta warm up the car before you drive it.
Yeah. And I think it's just what you're seeing is what I think is going to happen is I think you're going to see a young Avengers team. Like I think that's going to start to kind of come into sort of being formed, right? Whoever's on that team. I think it's pretty obvious who some of the characters are. I think you're going to see a situation where the young Avengers and your sort of standard level Avengers, they're going to have a riff, right? Like I think that is likely. Because that happened in the comics, right? It might not be called the Young Avengers. It might be called Champions because that's a team, right? That has a bunch of younger heroes on it. I think that's possible. I think there is the possibility of the sort of Dark Avengers or, whether that's the Thunderbolts, by another name or what. I think that story is going to take place, right? Like what are those guys doing? I think you're going to see the forming of a new Avengers team, right? Like the new Captain America hasn't talked to Thor, right? Like that hasn't happened yet, right? You still have whatever's going on in Wakanda. And I think Phase 5 is when you start to see fucking mutants show up. Like, just remember at the end of Phase 4 is the Fantastic Four. So they got all the shit going. Then they also have Kang and like incursions and all. There's a lot going on. Just like this is the building phase, man. Everybody relax. It's just the building phase. That's what all these TV shows are. Just building so that when they throw these guys in the movies, they can just get moving. Like you're not like, what was it? The original saga, the Infinity Saga was 3 phases. I doubt that this saga is 3 phases. I bet it probably ends in 2. I'd be shocked if they do another phase before they get to like the big fucking showdown with Kang or whoever. I'd be shocked to know that. So,
what if Kang is just like a red herring, right?
Could
like, be. It's I don't know. They can go a number of different ways with this, and I think that I think one, you're 100% right. Like that's why these TV shows exist. These TV shows exist so that we don't have to have a bunch of Phase 1. Like
exactly,
I got powers and now I'm learning how to use them, right? Like, and you don't feel necessarily obligated to watch them. Like if for whatever dumb reason you're not feeling Ms. Marvel, you don't have to watch it, right? And I'm sure they'll catch people up in the Marvels.
By the way, watch those numbers to spike, right? For people, the numbers for Miss Marvel aren't good. Yeah, go back when the Marvels drop and see what the numbers are 2 weeks after that on that show. I guarantee you they'll skyrocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will. Go ahead.
So yeah, I get it. I understand why people are like, oh, but this isn't like it was, a couple of years ago. Well, a couple of years ago, you had a bunch of established players, and now they've essentially hit the reset button. So yeah, I would just give it time. They're doing everybody's impatient, right? Everyone's impatient, but everyone's telling DC that they need to do this right now. What Marvel's doing, they need to do this. What Marvel's doing, and if you don't do what Marvel's doing right now, you get what happened over at Warner Brothers and DC. You get those style of movies where things are just kind of like slapdash together and whoa, we got to hurry up and jam everybody together. Like, nah,
take your time.
That's not. They got to their team up movie in 3 movies, and it wasn't wasn't good.
It didn't work. It didn't work.
But
that's the thing, man. Like, I get it. Is, it's not fucking Phase 3 and it's like fucking Infinity War and Endgame and holy shit, it's all tying together, right? Like, because every movie in Phase 3 had like a hard tie-in to like what was coming. You were like, oh shit. Like, it's, we're almost there. Yeah, Phase 1 was like, all right, there's Thor and his rock and roll hammer pants. Like, what the fuck does it have to do with anything? Like, and we're like, oh, is that the eye of Agamotto? No, it's not. It wasn't. Like, it wasn't tied to anything. It wasn't tied to anything. And so, just at the very end, you got Nick Fury like, hey, what's going on? What are you doing here? And it's like, oh shit. Like that's it, right? Like, so, just think of this as like Phase 1. And look, I don't think our listeners are like that crazy impatient. They tend to be a little bit more reasonable. But I do see a lot of people like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Marvel's lost it. Yeah, all right. And then when Phase 5 drops, y'all niggas gonna be like, yo, this is the greatest thing ever. Like, how will they ever top this? Like, just give it a moment. Like, we just reset Spider-Man. Like, keep that in mind for the entire universe. They just put Spider-Man at the point where we all know him now. That's what they did. So, like, we're still early, dude. Like, they got a lot to do. I would love it if Jonathan Majors' Kang is a total red herring. I think that would be awesome. Like, not that I want to see him get kind of stiffed, but I would love it if there was a villain like we just did not see coming.
Like, it turns out, like,
Doom.
Well, look, don't get me started. Like, they kind of did it with Loki, right? Like, that made Loki a tremendous character, right? Yep. Loki was the big bad in Avengers, and it turns out, oh shit, there's a guy behind the scenes pulling the strings, right? Like, that's who gave him this army, right? Like, it's they could do that for Loki or for Kang.
Yeah.
Look, don't get me started. All right. You know what I want. You people know what I want. Other than going to other than going to the nerdpocalypse.com/premium and signing up for premium content, I want there to be, I would love for things to culminate in Secret Wars. I think it would be great. I think Secret Wars would be so much fun, but I don't know.
Look, you've got Comic-Con that's coming this summer, which you might get some announcements, but in September you have D23, and I think that's where you're going to hear what's really coming up in Phase 5. That's where you'll get movie announcements, stuff like that. Look, you know what the best move would be, honestly, if Secret Wars is the big culmination Avengers movie at the end of Season 5, in Phase 5. In Phase 5, one of the shows, Books of Doom, right? Like, establish him as his character, and then just watch that motherfucker worm his way in to like Cam and I were talking about this. Instead of like the modern Secret Wars where Doom is the straight up villain, have it as a power battle between him and Kang in this like new world that's been created. That would be kind of fun. And then like the Avengers don't stop Kang. Doom stops Kang. And then they get back to like reality and it's like, nah, yo, I run this shit. Like, and then that moves into Phase 6 as he's the big bad. Like, that would be super fucking clever.
Man, nothing would please me more than just having Dr. Doom be on a popularity level of similar to Darth Vader. I mean, it would boggle my mind if they could pull that off.
You've been waiting your whole life for this moment.
I really kind of have. Really kind of have.
You've had to eat a lot of vegetables, my man. You've had to eat a lot of vegetables.
Yeah. I've been into this character since like 94, 95, man, when I first got introduced to him. And yo, I'm ready. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it to happen. I think bridesmaid, never a bride. I'm ready to get married. Let's fucking do this. Like a jack song.
Well, look, let me just say this.
Younger, we might as well do it.
We're not getting any. Look. If you're ready to be a bride, I mean, my God Doom wears all white. He's ready. He's ready.
Come on, man. Come on,
dude. If the first time you see him,
God Emperor.
Oh, excuse God Emperor Doom. All right. Look, all I'm saying is, I think doing Books of Doom would be really fucking cool, and then just have him like the scene in Secret Wars where Thanos goes up to Doom and he's like, "What the fuck are you gonna do?" And he just grabs him and rips his spine out of his body. That's what I want to see Doom do to Kang. It's like, oh shit, Kang's a badass, and Doom is like, yeah, that's cool. Boom, you're done. Like, you're done. I run this shit. And I'm like, oh, wow, okay. That would be the way to introduce him as a true threat. Like, what did I can't remember, something I read or saw or something like that, and they were like, do you want to make your villains, how do you make your villains in a story really work? And they were basically like, make them capable, right? Like, make them like be able to do shit, and then people go, oh shit, like this guy is really scary. Homelander is a perfect example. You're terrified of Homelander because he don't just talk shit, he does shit. Like, and he will fucking destroy you. So you're like, oh, this guy's not bullshitting. But in order to establish Doom, you need to have him do something like that. Like, I mean, shit, you could bring Brolin back, right? And just be like, as Thanos. And then he's like, oh shit, Thanos is the baddest motherfucker out there. And it's like, nah, yo, this dude's the baddest motherfucker out there. Like, that would establish, like, quite quickly, like, the power that he possesses. So I think that would be kind of cool. All right, that's it. We don't have any what the fuck stories because I forgot to tell JTD we were recording a day early, so that's my bad. And no trailers this week. Sorry, guys.
Nope.
All right, that's it. We will see you, Micah, in August because you're out next week.
Yeah, I am out. When is this going up? A little peek behind the curtain, folks. When is this going up?
This will go out tomorrow. Thursday.
Tomorrow. Okay. All right. Well, everyone, I would appreciate any well wishes, prayers if you are inclined, and positive vibes, because I'm about to welcome a child into the world, and it's a procedure, and it can be risky. So I'm a little nervous. So
sure.
Any good vibes that you guys send my way, they would be much appreciated. And I will talk to you all in August.
All right. Good vibes only. There you go. That's me sending good vibes. Yeah, man. We'll see you in August. All right, guys, and we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.